Yeah, I would like to make a discussion in light of the issue that has to do with the national flag. We all take pride in the national flag as a symbol of national unity, not so some kind of patriotism, especially if we use it in the right place as designated by the law. For starters, we have to take recognizance of the fact that the Constitution lays foundations in light of Article 8, that the Constitution makes a way or a provision for the national flag as a national entity, which is not an entity that is resigned for a particular individual or particular arm of government. So we are saying the national flag is quote unquote a symbol of unity, but for all entities of this country per se. So we all enjoy equal rights as far as the national flag is concerned. However, I would also be quick to add that the instances perhaps when there's an abuse or a desecration, okay, or disrespectful use of this flag, and there you can be held liable. And these provisions are particularly found in the national flag and the Missouri Ensigns Act, which is Cap 254, particularly section 8 and section 9 makes those provisions in light of when you use it for discretional purposes, disgraceful purposes, I beg your pardon, and also when you use it disrespectfully, or perhaps in a way that defiles the flag, then you can be held liable for that offense. I know there are other provisions of the law, for example, the Penal Code Act and also the Public Order and Management Act, which also infers, but the one that directly refers to it as a criminal offense would be particularly in light of the national flag and Emissary Ensigns Act, which is Cap 254. But it also loosely, alludes to it in a sense that I think it wants to protect this, because we are aware that issues to do with national flag are also protected by freedom of expression. In terms of, especially if they are also used by political parties, then you could also argue in terms of the right to join or to belong to a political party. All these are constitutional provisions. So the law is very clear. If it's going to be used in a disrespectful way, in terms of an abuse, in terms of an insult to it, then it becomes offensive as a provision of the law. However, that being said, the constitutional test must be brought into occurrence here. And what would be the constitutional test? The constitutional test would be in terms of whether or not it is legal, whether or not it is proportionate, whether or not it is necessary in terms of this. So we could argue that in terms of the ambits of the constitutional test, whatever you're doing, does it meet the constitutional test in terms of those provisions? So if someone, for example, is using the national flag for, call them patriotic endeavors, okay, or perhaps is holding it in terms of showing patriotism in terms of national solidarity, then you cannot, invoke the law against him. Unless you can categorically put it that this person is actually using it in a disrespectful way, or perhaps using it as an incitement to cause incitement in terms of violence or in terms of threats, then there you can say, okay, we can invoke the law to their detriment in terms of that particular. Otherwise, the national flag is a symbol of unity. It is something that every party can use, and no individual can hold it as his or hers. It is for purposes of national unity and stature for that purpose. So that is something someone could argue in terms of the debate in terms of the application of the national flag as we speak today. Yes.